Peru is a country in Geoguessr that I see a lot of people when I'm playing the game and seeing other people play just mess up when they shouldn't have messed up there. And I'm not saying Peru is like the easiest country. It is a pretty hard country to reach and guess. But recognizing Peru is pretty simple most of the time. So this tips and tricks video will be going over the beginner tips and then some reach and guessing ones as well. They're not going to be in a specific order. They're just going to be all over the place, but it'll cover a lot of things to know. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so the obvious first thing to start with is the landscape of Peru. You can see on this map, the far east you have the Amazon, which you barely have any coverage in. Really only this area and this city over here. You have the desert, which is the coast pretty much. The coast and a bit interior, and then you have the mountains that covers most of the country. Pretty much everything that's not the jungle and like this area and bits of this area in the desert are mountains. Like, even if you zoom into the desert down here, you see mountains. If you zoom in here, mountains. The direct coast, you don't have mountains. Mountains are everywhere. Now, time to get specific into the mountains are a very good way to reach and guess when you're higher level in Peru. Because, well, mountains and hills and sand dunes, I should put them all together. Because if you have like mountains with like vegetation, trees, and such, then you're gonna probably be in this bit, not in the south. You're gonna be in the main mountain part. But if you have more dry mountains that don't have much vegetation and are rocky, then you could be in the western part of the mountains, from like here down to here and whatnot. And then if you have like perfectly sandy mountains and sand dunes and hills, then you're gonna be in the other parts, like the very close to the coast and like down here. But now that I got that out of the way, I could talk about a little bit of Google card meta because it's probably the best thing for Peru. So Peru's coverage is mainly in Gen 3 and Gen 4. The Gen 4 and the Gen 3 both have various variants. Like this specific white car in South America, you only see in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. And I tend to see that the white car in Gen 3 you see more in the north, and the black car you see more in the south. But don't take that as a true tip, because this area you can only see white car, and this area I think you can see both. But I've seen black car way more here, just like in Argentina. But then the black car you see in Peru, Argentina, and Uruguay. So it's more obvious there. But this white car is around the desert here. But now to actually guess in this location. We have no vegetation, rocky sand dunes, white car. This would put us here or very far south here. But it wouldn't be near the lake, because the lake is not as deserty as the rest. So yeah, we're either going to be like right down here or right up here. And up here, this northern part is way more hilly than the southern part. And this is where my tips and tricks for this kind of fall. Because this was, I don't know too much the differences between this area and this area. But if I go off my white and black car thing, then I could be here. Probably around here. So it's either gonna be this area or this area, which is the pure desert. And it was this area up here. Okay, I just thought of another thing. The desert up here gives more of a Middle Eastern vibe, like you'd see in Oman. And then this desert area would look more like the Chilean desert if you watch my Chile video. But you would have to play to know that, obviously. Now I'll stop yapping, go to the next location. Okay, here's the black car. You can see this car in a lot of places around the world. You can see this in like South Korea. But in South America, like I said, it says Peru, Argentina, and Uruguay. And Argentina and Uruguay are very similar. You could just watch my Argentina video to know about that. So it's between Peru and Argentina, because Uruguay you would never have mountains like this. But this is very arid, and Western Argentina you see more of the white part. And also, yellow plates are exclusive to Colombia and Peru. Maybe sometimes in like Chile, but Colombia uses the yellow plates on everything, while Peru uses them on mainly taxis. But yeah, yellow plates, if you see it, don't immediately go Colombia. You gotta think about which car it's on for the two to then choose one of the two. And while I'm at it, the red and white color scheme you see in a lot of things in Peru. Like even on this car, these little things, these little red and white little bars on the car, that's exclusive to Peru. This vehicle is the color. Most of these vehicles are that color as well. So that's an easy, obvious thing to go Peru on. But this specific location doesn't have a main focus, but we're in an urban environment. It's arid, but not too arid. So it could be on an outskirt of Lima, potentially, because this city, if you could look at this map, is pretty arid. That location was pretty much just for the yellow plates. So remember the yellow plates if you skip through that location. Okay, and now for some other things. So, we have the super flat desert again, with hills east, which makes sense for the Andes. So we're going to be down here, because this soil is... how can I explain this? It's more of an orange color than up there. And you see this in like Chile and Bolivia as well. But it also looks like it's more built up, because the south of Peru is more built up, obviously. But this specific round is for a few things. One, these bollards. Bollards in South America are very rare. It's pretty much just in Ecuador and Peru. And the Ecuadorian bollards, funnily enough, are usually red and white. While the Peruvian ones you see yellow and white. And maybe some black as well. Can I see a new one? No, I can't. But then you have these signs, which have little concrete posts at the bottom. That is unique to Peru as well. So those, we'll just think one of those things would make you go Peru. And then going further in this location, we have olive plantations, I think. And these you see only in the very far south area, but not too far south. Actually, it could be too far south. But yeah, this is a good cue to know it's the very far south. The olives, the sand, and the more built-up road compared to the very top. So now let's go find a road that lines up. Like this one kind of lines up, but I don't think this is gonna be it. It might even be like this. Okay. Here's a location that just goes over a lot of basics, such as the license plate. Again, the normal white plates. You see this everywhere in Peru, apart from some vehicles that have the yellow plates. Obviously, this is also Gen 4 coverage, and this is actually really big for South America because Brazil is pretty self-explanatory, but the Gen 4 camera on the other side of the continent is not as common. For example, in Peru, Bolivia does not have Gen 4. Chile does have Gen 4, but has a different vibe. Ecuador only has Gen 4 with the pickup truck, like Panama, like Rwanda has. And Colombia, I think they also have Gen 4, but then with the plates and the road lines, you would know it's not Colombia. But what I'm saying is, this normal Gen 4 with just the normal car, it cannot be Bolivia, it cannot be Ecuador. It can be Arge, but there's ways to know it's not Argentina. So you know you're in Peru just at a glance. Now, Peru does have a different variant of Gen 4 where you have the small cam, so like Brazil has, or like Japan and Switzerland, because that's been... I didn't know they had small cam until in a duel I did, where I actually lost because of that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's what this round is about. Alright, so this area is a very interesting part of Peru because there's nowhere else like it. It's very sandy, very arid. You have a lot of vegetation, a lot of different types of vegetation. Like you have these little bushes, you have the golden grass, you have the bigger trees, and it's very flat. Not really any full-on mountains. There's hills, but you can tell that it's very arid still. And don't mind the coast. That you won't always see that, but this is indicative of the very far northwestern part of Peru. Like, very far northwest, like all the way up here. This is a very unique spot, and if you recognize it, your opponent likely doesn't recognize it, and then you just get a free win at that point. So, I'm gonna have to explain this round. It's very sandy and arid like a lot of other rounds, but it's not the same. It's not okay. This golden grass, which usually when they turn golden grass makes you think of Eswatini, which that's true. But this much of a built-up place with this golden grass being very arid, and more importantly, these stone walls. This is very unique to the southern part of Lake Titicaca. This round you would see exactly in Bolivia as well, right near La Paz, but in Gen 3 coverage. This is what the southern and eastern part of the biggest lake in South America looks like. The northern part, the coverage I'm pretty sure was in more of a rainy season, so you would still see the golden grass. It would still be arid, but it would look more like Argentina in a way. It would look rocky. It would look more rocky than sandy, and you would maybe see a little bit of vegetation showing up because, like, we can see like trees on the side of the mountains and such, and so you can also see with the north. But yeah, the lake is a very standout part, but can definitely be confused at certain points. Like, there's an area up here that looks like southern Chile to me. I forgot exactly where it was, but I got that location wrong. So, this isn't really going to be much of a tip for this occasion because I already went over what I want to talk with this spot. But this area is more of a volcanic, you could say. It's less desert, but still very arid, sandy. There's a lot of rocks everywhere. You have sparse vegetation. This area kind of reminds me of like southern Argentina or western Argentina in a way, but it's not. And this is actually just gonna be like the center of Peru, but like in not quite in like the super desert, but not quite in the mountains. You could see a location a lot like this in several parts of the country, but just like the middle part of Peru, you're likely to see this. Yeah, like in between the Andes bits. But don't really take that tip too much into consideration, only if it's like the last thing you can. Okay, so first thing, the Google car. This is small cam with the front, well, no, actually it's the back that's raised a bit. But this is small cam, which you in South America you only see in Peru and Brazil. Oh, and we have the old Peruvian play with the black as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Small cam like this, like you see in Japan, Switzerland, and now more like Western Europe and North America and such. I think maybe Australia. I don't actually know. Around like this, you'd be like, okay, it's small cam. This looks South American. Is it Peru or Brazil? And then you look at the plate. See, okay, it's a short plate. I know it's Peru. Oh, yellow plate. I know it's Peru. That's pretty much all this is. Okay, and one of the most famous parts about region guessing Peru are these signposts, the black and white signposts. If you see this on the right side of the road, you are in Peru. And if you see it's in general and you know you're in South America, you are in Peru. These are literally across the entire country. And then we are in the biggest mountains like ever. So we're gonna be in the more center part. It could be like here, it could be like here, it could be here. Who knows? I'm not going too deep into like vegetation and infrastructure and such in this, but yeah. Okay, so at first glance, you think, okay, it's gonna be somewhere. I mean, obviously somewhere in Peru, but we have these masses of trees on the mountains. We have some golden grass occasionally. We have it's arid, it's rocky. Yeah, here's the golden grass. We have these small little bushes here. What does this remind you of a previous round? The biggest lake in South America. Except this is not arid. Well, it is arid. It's not deserty at all, pretty much. I mean, it is just not very much. This is in the rainy season when whatnot, but this is the northern part of the lake, like I was talking about earlier. Comparing this to the south, you think it's not that similar, except like these mountains are the same, the vegetation is the same, the road quality is the same. Black car, I think black car is exclusive to the north, and the south could have either black car or white car in Gen 3 at least. I don't think the north has Gen 4 coverage, but yeah, that's really the north part. Lake Titicaca looks like. And here we have a round in Peru that you wouldn't expect this to be Peru. When you see a round like this, you would think, okay, this is going to be East of Andes, Ecuador, or Amazonas, Brazil. And that's perfectly right, because this is Gen 3 Black Car, which in itself means we're in this one specific location. But, okay, this location is one of the eastern areas of Peru. In the eastern Peru, in the Amazon, you have this northern location near this city, or this road that goes up right here. What I will say is, but both of them look like the Amazon, but this southern road looks more like Acre, Rondonia, Mato Grosso, and this northern area looks like eastern Ecuador, or just more parts of rural Amazonas. The northern part, at least not in the city itself, but well, the city will probably somewhat be like this as well. It is less developed than the southern area. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'd say the camera is not as good up here than it is down there. If you ever seen east of the Andes, Ecuador, this is exactly what I'd associate this with. But in the southern area, I would associate with this part of Brazil. Yeah, this is gonna be this northern area, and we know it's Peru from the black car, and some more things like the road and whatnot, and these poles, but the car is enough. Okay, and another little quick thing for architecture, I guess this goes in. The yellow and black stripes on these poles you see in Peru and Colombia, but in Colombia, it's very specific in certain cities. Peru, you see it more around, but they're not the same. I think in Colombia you usually have it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, though it could, but it doesn't go as far up and down the pole as the Peruvian ones. And we also have the flag, of course. Oh, I guess what I should say is the red brick you see in the southern half somewhat as well, but that doesn't. When I say southern half, it's most likely down here, and then less likely here, and then way less likely up here. But you can see it in all of Peru. You can see the red brick in all of even up here. But if it fully comes down to it, and you're in a 50-50 bit between here and here, and you forgot the tip, you just have to go down. But these dunes, well, mountains, I should clarify, they're very rocky, very sandy as well. But we have a lot of vegetation. It's even somewhat tropical in a way. So we know we're not gonna be down here. So we're gonna be in this deserty part in the middle, pretty much. So just kind of click somewhere, and yeah. Okay, and the last thing I will say for this little quick video is the other Amazonian part of Peru. As you can tell, I don't think this is, it could be Gen 4 camera. I think it is the Gen 4 camera, but this or better Gen 3 camera. This looks like Brazil. This looks like the Amazon, but not the less developed parts of the Amazon. This doesn't look like Eastern Ecuador. It looks like Rondonia or Mato Grosso or even like Para, Tocantins. But then, like here, I would go Brazil. But if you look over here, then you see the Peruvian baller, the Peruvian pole, the Peruvian concrete. So you know it's going to be along this road. Anyways, that is it for the Peru tips and tricks video. I hope you learned something and you don't end up going Peru on the Philippines or Bolivia or Argentina as much. So I'll see you all next time.